Mike, first of all, is just a quality human being. You just know that in his presence and interacting with him. Mike's also a father, a husband, and he was a leader in Loudoun County Public Schools who had a heart for kids and had a head for logistics and systems thinking. Smart man, really smart man.
If you think about Mike and the way he lived his life as a community person, he was actively involved in the rescue service, life-saving rescue service, fire and rescue service. So he provided a wonderful bridge for the school system to the whole fire and rescue and police community. Back at a time when there weren't a lot of formalized agreements, Mike was the person who could communicate across the boundaries, if you will.
I met Mike first in 1972. I was 13 years old, and Mike was with the Volunteer Rescue Squad in Leesburg. And he bugged me for 2 years until I turned 15 when I could join the rescue squad. And I did. And Mike was my first aid instructor and CPR instructor. And he took me under his wing, you know, from there on. And he took a lot of people under his wing. Like I said, he liked the youth of the community, and he was always willing to help them and carry out their wishes and dreams.
It really is significant that Mike started working for Loudoun County Public Schools while he was still a student at Loudoun County High School at the age of 16. Because in those days, a number of buses were driven by high school age students. We don't do that anymore, but it was fairly common then. You were chosen to become a student bus driver. The fact that he was chosen said that this man of great character, J. Lupton Simpson, for whom Simpson Middle School is named, saw the kind of calm and character in this 16-year-old young man that said to him, we can trust this young man with the responsibility for a busload of children.
Mike's leadership was a combination of compassion, of working with people and caring about people. One of the things that Dr. Hattrick often refers to when he speaks of J. Michael Lunsford is the fact that every decision he made was, is it in the best interest of children? And he exuded that in the role that he had as their director of transportation.
Prior to becoming the principal of Lunsford Middle School, I knew Mr. Lunsford as the director of transportation. You know, he would come to the administrative meetings and talk about changes that were happening in transportation and the priorities for the school year. Since becoming the principal of J. Michael Lunsford Middle School, I've gotten to know him a lot better through the people that he interacted with throughout his career, you know, starting with his family. He was a devoted husband, a dedicated father who loved his children very much. And he was an employee for Loudoun County for 41 years, which showed tremendous commitment to Loudoun County.
He was a friendly person. I mean, the second you met Mike, you knew what a good guy he was. You knew he's somebody you wanted to spend some time with. Whenever he'd stop by my office, we'd laugh. We'd always have a good time, and you need that in an intense work atmosphere.
We talk in our support side and also throughout Loudoun County Public Schools about how we're one large family, and he embodied that. Because with Mike, you knew what he said came from his heart and his soul.
It was just such a shock in a way, because I saw Mike in the hospital after his stroke. I thought he was on the mend. His wife is a skilled nurse, you know, and she was being pretty honest. And I mean, all the indications were Mike is getting better. And then, you know, I got a call that indicated that that might not be quite the case. I think Robert Burke actually called me, because Robert and Mike were such good friends. And their children were good friends, and the families were good friends. And so I went over to the hospital, and you know, indeed things were not better. He had taken a turn for the worse during the night, and I was really privileged to be there with him and his family for all the hours that led up to his eventual death.
I was with him when he passed away. I stayed with Tootie and the kids throughout the day at the hospital. I just couldn't believe it. I mean, a couple nights before that, he was talking through his daughter, through my daughter, and was telling them to tell me that he was going to be okay. And I came into work that one morning and they said he was in ICU in bad shape, so I immediately came down and stayed with them.
His wife, Tootie, is just a pillar of strength. She was talking to him and to her children who were there the whole time. This went on over several hours. And you know, because of being a nurse, she knew what was happening, and she really helped us work our way through it. She told us what would happen next. She told us, again, what the reaction would be just before he actually passed. It was hard.
I mentioned that he's within me and within all of us who know him. But the imagery that I have of his daughter standing there holding his hand is very difficult in my mind, because that reflects that family I'm talking about. That was his immediate family. But for the rest of us, for the rest of his family, whether we were there or whether we weren't, whether we had been visiting at his bedside or not, it was a loss. It was a void. And it was the realization that our lives are but seasons that change.
I think the future is what Mike would want us to be focused on, not the past. He learned from the past. He understood the power of history to keep us from making the same mistakes over and over again. He certainly lived in the present. Every day was important, but he was always looking to the future. And you know, if you think about it, that's what all of us in education are doing. We are looking to the future. We are trying to enable our students to have a bright future. That's what Mike would want for them. He would tell them, don't put up any barriers on yourself, and don't let other people put up barriers for you. Look to the future, look to what you want to be, to who you want to be, and then go for it.
He is leaving a legacy, and our motto at Lunsford Middle School is we are building a legacy of excellence. We are building a tradition, we are building a culture that is based on examples of how he lived his life. We're building a legacy of excellence amongst our staff and with our student population and within the entire South Riding community at large. We believe that he provides a wonderful example of work ethic and commitment and loyalty and kindness, all of the characteristics that we model and we hold dear in our heart when we work with our students every day.
Mike was the kind of guy that everybody wanted for a friend. And I would hope that youngsters today would carry that characteristic over into their everyday school life, that they would be the kind of friend that Mike Lunsford was, and they would be the kind of friend that they would want.
We are making Mr. Lunsford's commitments to himself and to Loudoun County and to his family and the community. We're making them very real. We're making them very tangible. The students in our building know about Mr. Lunsford and what he stood for and what he believed in. And they know that hard work pays off, and Mr. Lunsford is a prime example of that commitment to community and the work ethic and the pride that he brought to work every day.
I think it's a wonderful feeling as a friend and colleague of his to know that even though Mike is gone, he is still influencing us. He is still influencing kids and making Loudoun County a better place.
Go where you want to go. Be who you want to be. Do what you want to do. And you'll be successful.